It's two guys, I always know what they want to do. One of them always wants to fish his flies. And the guy who's the least experienced says, well, I'll go with yours, because I want one of you to fish mine and I want one of you to fish yours. We'll see who wins. I'm only kidding. Buck, this first fly will be for you, my friend. Now, this first pattern is tied on a hook that's size 6. It's very short shank. And before I get into the actual tying process, you guys, keep this thought in mind. When you fish big flies like buggers, leeches, minnow imitations, those flies they represent different food sources to the trout. You might be fishing with a streamer or a small minnow imitation and think, you know, they're going to take this for a minnow. Most of the time they do. But what if you put a bugger on? You guys have any idea what a woolly bugger is supposed to imitate? I don't have a clue what it's supposed to imitate. But it works. And the reason it works is because it's suggestive of the food that you find in lakes. So if you're trying to imitate a particular food source, just remember this: you can't make your fly look or act like what they see and eat every day, as much as you might think you can, but you can't. So when they take the bugger, you may not believe this, but I'll guarantee you this is true. The key to making a fish react to what you guys are doing is movement. And a bugger has lots of movement. I'm going to tie a minnow here that has a lot of movement. But I'm not going to put a body on it, and I'm not going to put a tail on it. So how can I tie a minnow without a body or a tail? Let's see what happens here. And I want this to stick out beyond the bend here about an inch or so. And the thing about when you fish with minnows, you guys, I see a lot of guys don't fish them at the right time of the day, and they don't fish them in the right area. They might go out on the lake and go out troll in the middle. It'll still catch fish, but what you guys got to do if you want to get consistency to the bite is fish them in an area where you know fish will be looking for minnows. You know where that is? Shoreline edge. So you need to be there, and you need to be there when the fish are going to be looking for them. So whenever I get a minnow pattern on and I go to a lake, whether it's one that I know or I don't know, I'm usually going to go and fish these things the first 2 hours of the day and the last 2 hours of the day. In other words, before the sun gets up and after the sun's getting close to going down. Crystal chenille, shuck type stuff. This is oval. If you guys put this over the top like this, wherever the sun is, you will always get reflection from it. What the fish does is he keys off of this material, because as the sun hits the scales along the sides of the fish, it'll kind of sparkle, and they'll pick up that sparkle, so when the water's off color, you think they can't see it, but they'll pick up the reflection. This is the only time I use this material, is when I'm tying a minnow, because I know regardless of where the sun is, because it's oval, I'll always get some reflection. If you guys go out and fish a lake, say with a Paula or something like that, everybody knows those lures work, but the reason they work has nothing to do with that little plug looking like the minnow that you think you're imitating. First of all, you lead it around in a straight line, and you tie it to a piece of string called a tippet or a line. Tell me that looks normal? You think they don't see those treble hooks and that lip down there to make it quiver? They see all that. But fish react to the movement, so it's the movement that triggers the response. So when it comes to getting marabou, you guys, this color of marabou may be hard for you to find, but that color is really critical. If you're going to tie minnows, you're going to need that color. White and gray probably comprises 80% of all the minnows I've seen around the country, and different countries on top of that. So this is called polar ice. You see, it's kind of a silvery, flashy thing. I'm looking at it underneath this light, and I think all the colors in the rainbow are coming out on this material. So I'm going to pick a bunch of this stuff out because it's thin and it's kind of difficult sometimes to work with, but where I cut it off, all of these ends are all the same. and lay that right over the top of that gray marabou. Now when the sun hits this, you guys can see this thing coming 100 yards out there in the lake. You talk about reflection, it's got those reflective qualities, and we all know that fish react to different color tones with this stuff, and the reason I use it, I got some over on my table. It's high gloss, fast drying. It leaves a shiny coat on top of the fly when I'm through. Okay, so that's the Minnow.